Sussex County Hill Costco because of traffic. Route 24 couldn't handle it, and yet 1 month before that, that same road, they approved a different project 5 miles away of 852 new homes. Approved. It's not in court, nobody's fighting about it, and nobody's showing up to meetings about it. It's just happening. So what's the standard? Because I've been in county records for 6 months trying to answer that, and I still can't give you a clean answer. And nobody can. And if you're buying anywhere near these roads, that's your problem now and not theirs. Atlantic Fields and the part that I got wrong. Start with the one that everybody heard about. Atlantic Fields. It's 74 acres on Route 24, less than 2 miles off of Route 1. About 675,000 square feet of 23 buildings, promoted with names that get people's attention. Costco, Target, Whole Foods, TJ Maxx, Ross. The first thing worth knowing, and it applies to everything else in this video, is that a retailer's name on a site plan is not a signed lease. It's a name on a plan. October 25, the county's own Planning and Zoning Commission, they recommended approval. And I'll be honest with you, when that happened, I thought it was done. And so did everybody else. And then you get to January of 26. County Council votes and has a unanimous denial, not because Sussex County doesn't want a Costco, because Route 24 couldn't carry it. And look, if you've driven between Route 1 and the communities west of it in July, you don't need me to explain that. February, the developer sued. Their argument is that the county misapplied its own standards, rejected a project its own planners had recommended, and let political pressure override the land use review. Well, that's their case, and it's not a ruling, and nobody's decided that. So Atlantic Fields isn't dead, it's blocked. And where it goes now is a courtroom, which is where everybody's next question comes in. If the Costco doesn't land in that location, does it go somewhere else? Ocean 1 and the answer that I'm not giving you. So maybe here, Ocean 1. 116 acres near Milton at Route 1 and Route 16 across from the Rookery. It's 500,000 square feet of retail. Anchored spaces 75 to 135,000, a grocery store, and around 280 townhomes and residential units on top of it. And its whole advantage is one thing: location. Not 24, but Route 1. Better regional access, and a lot fewer houses sitting right up against it. The developers tied to Ocean 1 have publicly talked about recruiting Costco, moving it off Atlantic Fields, and putting it here. Now, I want to be careful here, because this is where everybody covering this is going to get crazy. Costco has not confirmed Ocean 1 or Atlantic Fields. No announced opening, no construction timeline, and no signed lease that anybody's made public. And Ocean 1 still needs to get approvals and its own rezoning. So is Costco coming to Coastal Delaware? Maybe. Ocean 1 might be the logical spot. The developers might be chasing it hard, but a logical spot in a store is not the same thing, and I'm not going to hand you the second one when only the first one is true. That's the Costco question, and that's as far as it goes right now. And the rest of this is so much bigger because it was never really about Costco. It's about how Sussex County decides where growth goes, and 1 month before they said no on 24, they said yes on Route 24. The Route 24 contradiction. December of 25, Belmead approved mixed-use rezoning on Route 24 near Rehoboth, apartments, commercial, more cars on the corridor. So on January 26, Atlantic Fields is denied because 24 can't take the traffic. Same road, 1 month apart, but opposite answers. Now here's the part that I don't get, that hasn't gotten the coverage that it definitely should. Belmead got challenged. A watchdog group took the county to court, and their argument was that the road improvements that county was counting on weren't going to be finished before Belmead started putting cars on the road. But then you get to late May, and Superior Court dismisses the case, and the public record doesn't say why. The developers' lawyers had argued the group didn't have any standing. And what they were bringing, this is their language, a generalized grievance shared by the population at large. Whether that's the reason it got dismissed, I don't know. It's not in what's public. And I looked. Late June, the Alliance appealed the Supreme Court. So sit where that leaves us. The one question everybody cares about, can 24 handle this or can't it? Got in front of a judge and it didn't get answered. So 2 projects, same road, 1 denied for traffic and 1 approved. 1 developer suing the county because it was too strict and 1 appealing because it wasn't strict enough. And a court that had a shot at settling it hasn't. So what is the standard? What's the line? Is 24 too congested for major development, or is it too congested for some development? And if it's the second one, which one? I don't know. And I don't think anybody else can tell me right now, which is a strange thing to say about a road that people are signing 30-year mortgages next to. Now, there may be a real technical difference between these 2 projects. Who am I to say? They're not the same project, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything here. Denying one and approving the other could be completely defensible. But if you're a buyer, you can't see the line, and you're the one who lives with wherever it ends up. North Star, the one that nobody's talking about. This got approved. North Star, 433 acres west of Lewis on Route 9 and Beaver Dam Road. 758 single-family homes, 94 multifamily, and 96,000 square feet of commercial. 852 units. Final commercial zoning went through County Council in October of 25. It was a narrow vote, but sewer expansion is already moving. No lawsuit, no appeal, no hearing that made the news. And here's the thing that gets me about the comparison. Atlantic Fields would have brought shoppers, people who drive in, who would buy something and then drive home. North Star brings residents, permanent ones. More cars on Route 9 every single day. Kids into schools that are already stretched, and more demand on the one hospital system this end of the county runs on. BB is the largest employer in Sussex County, and right now, they're running at roughly 1 primary care provider for every 1,800 patients. Their CEO, Dr. David Tam, said this, and I think it's the most useful sentence that anybody has said about growth down here. Most people don't come here and ask how much a house costs. They ask, am I going to be able to see a doctor? That's not a developer saying that, or a watchdog group, it's the hospital. So, a shopping center about half the size of Christiana Mall gets denied over infrastructure, and an entire new community of 852 doors moves forward in the same region, in the same window? I'm not telling you one was right and one was wrong. I don't know that. I'm telling you that I can't see the standard, and you're the one who's gonna buy into it. Kings Highway. This part's not theoretical. Now I know what some of you are thinking because I hear it. None of this is built yet, and half of it's tied up in court. Why does it matter today? Fine. Drive Kings Highway between Route 1 and Lewis. It's happening right now under your own car. There's Mitchell's Corner, 267 townhomes and duplexes, plus a commercial office. It's going in. DelDOT's Kings Highway plan, widening, roundabouts, and phased construction with traffic running straight through the middle of it. There's new residential, new medical, new institutional, all of it building out right by the Cape and Lopin High School and BB Hospital at the same time. And the people showing up to those meetings aren't fighting one building, and that's what gets missed. They're pointing at all of it, landing at once every project that looks reasonable by itself, going operational in that same window. Kings Highway in 28 is not going to look like the Kings Highway today, which isn't good or bad by itself. And that's the part that people want me to pick a side on, and I won't. Close to medical, close to shopping, close to Route 1, and close to downtown Lewis. One buyer reads that as convenience, and they're gonna pay a premium. But somebody expecting a quiet drive into historic Lewis reads exactly the same list and runs. The project isn't the investment. Where you're sitting when it shows up, that is the investment. Downtown Rehoboth, the ones that don't get undone. So everything so far is farmland and highway, and this part's harder to reverse. If you walk Rehoboth Avenue towards the boardwalk, you've seen the fencing. That's One Rehoboth, Old Grotto Pizza and Candy Kitchen, north of Rehoboth Avenue and the boardwalk. It's 4 stories, 60 hotel rooms, ground floor restaurant and retail parking underneath. Construction is starting in September of 26, and they're targeting spring of 28. A couple of blocks over, you got Belhaven, 105 rooms, 4 stories, parking, and that site plan has been approved, but no firm start. And then Baltimore Avenue, Atlantic Crown, 55 rooms approved, and Jam Bistro, it got demolished to make room for it, and then it stalled. Financing at rates, and the hotelier is reportedly moving on. The site is a parking lot. So 3 hotel projects downtown. One's building, sort of, one's approved and hasn't started, and one's on hold after knocking down what was already there. And hotels, they're not the villain here. I want to be clear about that. They feed tourism and restaurants and retail and the tax base. Rehoboth runs on that. The thing residents keep raising in planning meetings is narrower. Is Rehoboth trading its small-scale restaurant and retail fabric for hotel blocks faster than the streets and the parking can absorb it? Well, that's a live argument, and it's not settled. But here's the difference between this and Route 24. A denied rezoning on 24 goes back to being a field. A restaurant that got knocked down, it doesn't come back. So what to actually do about it? So you see construction and you think one of 2 things. Growth, values go up, or traffic and character's gone. It's both, and depends entirely on where you're standing when it happens. 5 minutes from Ocean One, when it opens, that's convenience, and you're gonna pay for that on the road that everyone takes to get there, through 4 years of construction, in the same zip code, and completely different life. Near a hospital? Valuable. Next to a decade of medical expansion and road work? Well, maybe that's not what you pictured. So the question isn't, do I like this house? It's 5 things, and you can answer every one of them for free before you write an offer. What's already approved within 5 miles of the property? What's still only proposed, and what stage is it actually at? Because those are very different. Which roads are getting torn up and for how long? Where do the new residents shop? And which roads are they gonna take to get there? And what does this corner feel like on a Saturday in July? Every one of those is public record. County council agendas, planning and zoning minutes, DelDOT project pages, it's all sitting there. It's tedious and it's boring, but not hard, and almost nobody does it. And I get it why, because here's what the whole thing actually comes down to. Coastal Delaware wants Costco. They want Target. They want better shopping. It also wants workforce housing and farmland left alone, and less traffic, and a downtown that still feels like downtown. Those don't always fit together. You can't add thousands of residents and not add commercial demand. You can't keep the rural roads exactly like they are and improve the communities that dump people onto them. And while the county and the courts work out where that line is, and right now they haven't, that's the whole point of this video. Every buyer signing a contract out here is betting on the answer. You should at least know what you're betting on. You think you're buying today's Coastal Delaware, you're not. You're buying tomorrow's. And right now, nobody in this county can tell you what tomorrow looks like. So go find out what's already approved, and then you get to decide. I made a video on 10 ways that sellers hide major defects and exactly what to look for at every showing. Watch that one next.